Hi, I'm Andreas Apitz. In this video I will show how to play one-hand voicings for jazz piano on a 2-5-1 progression in major keys. In the key of C major, the chords of the progression are D minor 7, G7, C major 7. The basic chord structures D minor 7, G7, C major 7. Now that's a pretty rough sound. The chords are leaping all over the place and it's hard to recognize the ways in which the individual notes of the chords are related to each other. For a smoother voice leading between the chords I could use inversions. For the 2-chord D minor 7, first inversion. For the 5-chord G7, third inversion. For the 1-chord C major 7, first inversion. As a disadvantage, the movement of the chord roots, which had been in the lower voice of all the basic chords, is now somewhat hidden inside the voicings. For the 2-chord here, for the 5-chord here, for the 1-chord here. These voicings sound less grounded, but this will immediately turn into an advantage if we assume there's a bass player available who will play the chord roots underneath. As the chord roots are present in the bass, I now would suggest replacing them in the voicings itself to the favor of some additional color tones. In the 2-chord D minor 7, I would replace the root D by the 9th E, together with a bass. I normally use this minor 7 9th voicing in most situations, even where only minor 7 is indicated by the chord symbol. In the 5-chord G7, I again would replace the root G by the 9th A. With a bass. In addition, I would also play the 6th E instead of the 5th D as another color tone to enhance the tension in the dominant chord. With a bass. By the way, if a 6th occurs in a dominant chord, it is usually called a 13th. Again, I would use this G13 or G7-9 13th voicing in most cases where just G7 is the chord symbol. If I play these two voicings in a sequence, there is movement only in one of the 4 voices. The 7th of D minor 7, C, resolves into the 3rd of G7, B. In fact, this is the main voice movement or guideline between these two chords. In the 1-chord C major 7, I also would replace the root C by the 9th D. And what might be surprising at first, I also replaced the major 7th B by the 6th A. Together with a bass. My reason for doing this is that the C major 7 9th voicing tends to resist a bit if I play the root on top of it in the melody. Together with a bass. With the C6-9 voicing, this is not a problem, nor with any melody note that is likely to be played on top of it. So I'd rather use the C6-9 voicing in most cases where C major 7 is indicated. Playing the 5 and the 1 chord in sequence, all of the voices descend by one step in the scale. The main guideline again is the 7th of G7, F, resolving into the 3rd of C major 7, E. So the entire progression would now sound like this. Now I'm going to play the 2-5-1 progression in all keys through the circle of fifths in descending direction. These voicings work best if played in the mid register of the piano. Make sure not to go lower than D below middle C. The changes will be half bar, meaning a half bar of 2 minor 7, a half bar of 5 7, and a whole bar of 1 major 7. The rhythms I use for the voicings are indicated above. I do it once again, playing with the right hand through the circle in ascending direction. This sequence of voicings is often called A-position voicings. Of course, if there's an A position, there has to be a B position too, which I will get to in another video. In another video, I will combine these voicings with either a melody line or a walking bass line. Bye, see you next time.